Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to welcome you back. This is a basic session, and very important and crucial for hemodialysis prescription. We are going to start with my colleague and friend, Professor Ahmed Hassan Neamatalla. He is Associate Consultant of Nephrology at the Royal Liver Center, and he is one of the most dedicated, and I am honored and pleased to have Dr. Ahmed as a friend. Dr. Ahmed will give us a talk about hemodialyzer clinical practice guidelines. Dr. Ahmed.
Thank you, Dr. Hassan, for your presentation. It's a great pleasure for me to welcome you here in Egypt to start with our next session with this lecture about hemodialyzer in clinical practice guidelines. Our agenda includes introduction, randomized controlled trials, meta-analysis of randomized controlled trials, guidelines from 2002 up to 2015, and what is new in the membrane field. Starting from 1980, Franz Volhard stated that dialysis is a useless and even dangerous. But later on, there was an evolution in the dialysis membranes and machine, starting from dialysis cabin system, then rotating drums, then auto-ejector and ultrafiltration and flat sheet membrane dialyzer and capillary dialyzers. In 1964 in France, Strasbourg, there was a preparation of membrane for a keel dialyzer. And William Koch and his rotating drum also has evolved. Also, ultrafiltration by Niles Alway in 1948, and the first capillary membrane dialyzer was published in 1967. Richard Stewart, who's the one who published the hemodialysis with capillary kidney in 1964. Here the dialyzer is composed of fibers embedded in a resin and wrapped in a jacket with a dialysate in and the outlet, and also blood in and outlet, with dialysate flow and the blood flow opposite each side. This is the role of dialyzers membrane in the form of diffusion and convection. Diffusion, transmission of small molecules across semi-permeable membrane according to concentration gradient, while the convection is the same but with introducing a pressure across the membrane, pressure force. This is an example of low rate, low flow with low convection, and this is high flow with high convection with the comparison. So types of hemodialysis dialyzer include low flux hemodialysis and high flux and hemodiafiltration and hemofiltration. Classification of the solutes includes small and middle and large molecules. Small molecules in the form of urea, creatinine, and phosphate. Middle molecules in the form of vitamin B12, vancomycin, insulin, toxins, parathormone, and beta-2 microglobulin. While large molecule in the form of myoglobin, retinol binding protein, albumin, and transferrin. This is the uremic solute and their molecular weight, and we can see here urea only 60 millidalton, and beta-2 microglobulin 11,818. So what is the clinical implication of hemodialysis membrane biocompatibility? The types of hemodialysis membrane include cellulose and cellulose acetate and synthetic polymers, including polysulfone membranes. Of course, the synthetic membrane is the best in blood compatibility and the best treatment quality, but with highest price. The immune disorders in hemodialysis is contributed by multiple factors leading to inflammation in hemodialysis patient. Most of them is bioincompatible membrane and uremic toxins. So this is a study published in 2014. It shows that how can we avoid inflammatory process in dialysis patient. So how to eliminate factors which trigger inflammation by using biocompatible membrane, biocompatible lines, acetate-free dialysis, ultra-pure fluids, and high-quality water treatment pipe systems. And also removal of inflammatory mediators by high-volume convection, diffusion, and convection, sorbent cartilage adsorbent membrane, or high-flux membranes. So if you have good outcome and good adequacy of dialysis, you should use a better biocompatible membrane with middle molecule removal, but you should focus on the cost control of the price of the membrane. This is TOPS practice monitoring, which show a urea reduction ratio more than or equal 65 is adopted in more than 90% of patients published in this paper. So we need to measure the urea pre and post dialysis to measure urea reduction ratio, which is the pre-dialysis urea minus post-dialysis divided by pre-urea multiplied by 100. So what we need to know about the dialyzer, we need to know the clearance, ultrafiltration coefficient, and transmembrane pressure, dialyzer flux, back transport, priming volume, mass transfer coefficient of the membrane, and seeding coefficient. Flux measure of ultrafiltration capacity, while permeability is the measure of clearance of middle molecule weight molecule like beta-2 microglobulin. There is a general correlation between flux and permeability, while efficiency of the membrane include low and high efficiency are based on urea coefficient value. Low coefficient less than 500 milli per minute, while high coefficient is more than 600 milli per minute. This equation can measure the coefficient of dialyzer. Of course, traditional dialyzer here in this diagram, in spite of high blood flow, will not increase the urea clearance like the high efficiency dialyzers, which with increased blood flow, the urea clearance is much more increased. The difference between high and low efficiency hemodialysis, the dialyzer coefficient is more or equal than 600, while low efficiency is less than 500. Blood flow more than equal 350, here less than 350. Dialysate flow more than 500, less than 500. Bicarbonate dialysate is necessary here, while low efficiency is optimal. So we need to know what about randomized controlled double-blinded study regarding the efficiency of dialysis dose and the membrane flux in maintenance dialysis. This is the hemo study done in the States, United States, in 2002. It was done over 6 years and more than 900 patients. This demonstrated that the standard dose of hemodialysis equals the high dose of hemodialysis in outcome. This also the same result using standard dose versus high dose hemodialysis using high flux and low flux techniques. While in this study, this is the MBO study, which is done in Europe in 2003, which in comparison to the previous study, there was no reuse of the dialyzer and new hemodialysis patient less than 2 months on hemodialysis. More than 59 countries were participated in this study, and they concluded the effect of membrane on permeability on the survival of hemodialysis patient. They found that the high flux membrane has a better outcome more than low flux membrane in the patient survival. This is also the same. This compares the both study, hemo study in the USA, while MBO study done in Europe, with best outcome in patient receiving high flux technique more than low flux technique. So regarding review of meta-analysis, the high flux versus low flux membrane for end-stage renal disease revealed better in patient with incomplete outcome data, pseudo-attrition bias. All causes of mortality and outcome in high flux versus low flux membrane for end-stage renal disease were insignificant. Also, pre-dialysis beta-2 microglobulin and cardiovascular mortality. So, regarding the guidelines in hemodialysis, regarding clinical strengths and target. Patient whose estimated life expectancy more than 7 years and who are unlikely to receive transplant as a result of human major histocompatibility and high risk of recurrent disease and rare tissue type, this should use a high flux membrane and hemodiafiltration using modified cellulose membranes over unmodified cellulose membrane. Clinical practice guideline for hemodialysis in UK 2006 also proved that cellulose membrane instead of unmodified cellulose membrane is more appreciable, especially for patient has been on hemodialysis for more than 3.7 years. But it has, of course, a high cost of this membrane significantly in comparison to low flux membrane. And the use of dialyzer sterilization with ethylene oxide should be avoided. This is a good practice. Regarding the Renal Association guidelines, they proved that patients who have lower serum albumin less than 4 gram per deciliter or have diabetes should be adopted for high flux membrane. Also, they recommend to avoid ACE inhibitor as a drug prescription for patients in hemodialysis with synthetic membrane, which can be capable of generating bradykinin. So, regarding the dialyzer membrane guidelines, we recommend that high flux membrane be used to remove molecules such as beta-2 microglobulin because they have been shown to achieve lower serum levels. We suggest also that some groups, such as those on dialysis for more than 3.7 years with serum albumin below than 4 gram per deciliter or diabetics. But the problem of the cost will be the barrier for the use of these high flux membranes. Also, the back filtration problem of the membrane. This is the back filtration across the membrane after the equilibrium has achieved. This is the European best practice guideline on dialysis strategies, which recommended that albumin is associated with multiple adverse factors, the malnutrition, inflammation, and vascular disease, as well as increased mortality. So in clinical practice, preference of low versus high flux can be based on financial restriction and the need of ultra pure weight water when using high flux technique. Using high flux in anemia management of chronic kidney disease is in resistant anemia, we use high flux membrane with when methods to achieve good dialysate water quality are available. Clinical practice recommendation regarding dialyzer membranes, the use of poorly biocompatible or unmodified cellulose dialyzer membrane for hemodialysis is discouraged. This is a study from American Journal of Kidney Disease, studying the time of dialysis initiation, duration, and frequency of hemodialysis session, and including membrane flux in the study. In the Dookie guideline, they use the clinical practice guideline based upon the best information available till June 2015. It is designed to provide inflammation and assist decision making, and it is not intended to define a standard of care and should not be constituted as one, nor should it be interpreted as prescribing exclusive course of management. And we should prescribe it according to individual patient variation and when it is available resources. So the decision making to use high flux versus low flux still making a fighting between the two groups. So you should balance the overall cost and short and long term of the patient in comparison to performance, quality, and the patient well-being. And what is the other types of filters? CRR filter and plasma filters, and optimization of convection volume in online hemodiafiltration can only be performed with high flux membrane. This is some study, controlled study, trial in hemodiafiltration and patient survival with high convection volume. This is the ultra filter using ultra pure water with microbial load less than 0.1 CFU per ml. And this is endoxin filter. This is endoxin filter, removing endoxin fragment besides creatinine, phosphate, and inulin, and albumin, and this is endoxin fragments. So what is the new product? FDA authorized, approved, first device to treat patients with dialysis-related amyloidosis with a high cutoff technique. This is a new technology for efficient and direct removal of free light chain proteins called serial technique. And also the use of ferric pyrophosphate citrate administration via dialysate maintains hemoglobin and iron balance in chronic hemodialysis patient. Soluble pyrophosphate complex infused into the blood via dialysate over the course of the dialysis treatment, and it will cross the dialyzer membrane, and just like calcium and bicarbonate entering the blood. So iron simply replace the 5.5 to 7 milligram of iron that is lost during dialysis treatment. A new dialyzer using vitamin E as a functional and biocompatibility, reducing the inflammatory process and more biocompatible membrane. So what is in the future will be the use of stem cells and nanofabrication in the membranes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ahmed, for this presentation. And now we are ready for questions. Yes, please. The mic, please. This is my
The presentation was very, very good. My question I wanted to find out is, back at home we have challenges sometimes on analyzing patients who are young age group. Not every time reducing dialysis is available in severe. And now, I feel like dialyzers are very expensive, so we don't have so much experience. But if few times that we have used it, we have not seen any advantage when it comes to the use of the employee, either when they get anemic in severe. Now, when you're making a decision about the hemodialysis for children, for example, 3 years old, 4 years old, is IFLAX, does it have an advantage in terms of clearance? Would you say that's the best option, despite of the cost?
Of course, high flux is better for children, and even online hemodiafiltration is more and more better for better quality and better dialysis. But it depends on the facility and the cost, because it is of course very costly, and of course you need a high technique, high pure water system for this online hemodiafiltration. And of course high flux filters is very, very expensive in comparison to low flux filters. So of course it is very beneficial for a child, but if they can afford, the community can afford this technique for the child.
Excuse me, Dr. Ahmed. The wisdom is to use your resources maximally. Suppose that you have only low flux, it's okay, accept it. Even in many randomized control trials, there is no difference between low flux and high flux. But the majority of dialysis centers in the Western community use high flux. You have low flux, so you are left with optimization of the time. So you can deal with your resources, but use it maximally, as Dr. Ahmed mentioned. Regarding children, tomorrow we'll have Professor Ashraf Bakr, the Vice President of MANSOURA University, and he is Professor of Pediatric, and he will give us a talk on the difference between dialysis for children and adults. So if you have any questions out of children, it's okay.
Another comment is, any episodes, incidents that you've had in people, patients reacting to the IFLAX. If you have any episode where they can't get low flux or high flux because they react. I think synthetic reaction, hypersensitive reaction.
Excuse me, hypersensitive reaction?
Yes.
With high flux,
Any.
or incompatible,
Yes.
incompatible membrane,
Yeah.
not bioincompatible membrane.
But
Usually hypersensitivity is linked to membrane material and the way of sterilization. Suppose that the sterilization of the dialyzer is with ethylene oxide. As you know, ethylene oxide is linked to hypersensitivity, but it's not so frequent as you imagine. So the hypersensitivity is linked to material, as Dr. Ahmed mentioned. If you use bio-incompatible membranes like cellulose or substrate cellulose, or sterilize the dialyzer with ethylene oxide. And it's better if you have any source or any presentation of hypersensitivity to change all the material you have, just to change between the types of dialyzer. If you don't have types of dialyzer, you will deal with hypersensitivity by the regular way. Sometimes hypersensitivity comes from the materials within the lines. So it's better to wash the lines with saline before starting dialysis. Okay. Yes, please.
I have two questions. One is according to appreciate the dialysis efficiency. In your talk, you show us that it's better to calculate urea pre and post-dialysis in order to know the clearance of urea. But we learned to use the KTV. Now, KTV is useful, is used or has been abandoned. And the second question is about high flux membrane and the high blood flow. When we use a high flux membrane, is necessary to increase the blood flow. Is there any gain or any benefit?
Regarding the first question on urea reduction ratio and as a use of efficiency of the dialysis, is we use also the KT over V. This is still valid, and also we use it when they try to adopt a higher KT over V approaching 1.2 to 1.3. Regarding the other question, if you use a high flux membrane, it is better to use high blood flow to get much more benefit from that membrane which you are using, because as the diagram showed that much more you increase the blood flow, much more the clearance by the high flux membrane. But if your patient is not tolerating this high flow blood, you can use a lower blood flow rate, but you should know that you will not use the much clearance of that membrane. Okay?
This is what I meant by optimizing your resources. To get rid of toxins, what you have is time. If you can prolong the dialysis session, it will be fine. And the other two factors is blood flow and dialysis flow. If you can increase blood flow as tolerated by the patient, and the patient has a good AV fistula, go ahead. Because it will not be cost benefit to allow blood flow of 200 ml per minute, and you can increase to up to 400 ml per minute. So maximize as you can. So this is regarding the second point. Regarding high flux, usually we use high flow with high flux, and we should look at the other criteria of the filter, because flux means filtration, ultrafiltration, because this is the high flux means the wider the pores of the dialyzer, but it doesn't mean the higher clearance. So we should look at coefficients of the dialyzer, surface area of dialyzer that can fit with the patient surface area. So to maximize all what you can do. Okay. If you use sober flux dialyzer, because high flux is definition if QF is 20 or more. And suppose that you have the facility for the sober flux 70 QF, you should use ultra pure water, because with this very high flux there will be backflow within the dialyzer. If you don't use ultra pure water, this may lead to patient morbidity and inflammation. Okay, please. You have here and there.
I just wanted to find out what you meant when you said as part of the prescription, primary oil is important.
Again, please.
Priming volume.
Priming volume?
Yes.
So,
You stress that it's very important as part of the prescription. So I wanted to find out what you meant.
this is the volume needed to wash all over the membranes of the dialyzers. Example, some dialyzer membrane has to be washed by 200 ml, another to be washed by 300 or 400 ml, okay, of saline. This is the amount of saline used to wash all of the membrane clearly before initiating dialysis, okay? And also after finishing dialysis to clear the blood from the dialyzer completely at the end of the dialysis.
So that would be specific for every dialyzer.
Yes, it is specific, like surface area and the coefficient of dialyzer. It is specific for each dialyzer.
Merci beaucoup. Merci, je remercie la conférencier pour son excellent exposé. Mais j'aimerais poser cette question concernant les modes d'infiltration et les modes d'analyse conventionnelle avec des membranes de haute perméabilité. Alors, dans les modes d'infiltration, ça demande beaucoup d'eau pure. L'eau ultra pure plutôt. Et on sait que pour nous, les pays africains, c'est encore des coûts surajoutés. Alors, est-ce que le rapport coût-efficacité pour les systèmes de santé de nos pays vaut la peine qu'on puisse pratiquer les modes d'infiltration en Afrique? Parce que c'est surtout dans les pays riches que nous voyons cela, d'autant plus que certaines études ne sont pas tous aussi décisives, ne disent pas qu'il y a vraiment, sur le plan de vue de la mortalité, qu'il y a vraiment un très grand changement, c'est des petits pourcentages seulement. Donc, est-ce que pour nous, les pays africains, les mots d'infiltration est nettement meilleur et nettement acceptable par rapport à la dialyse conventionnelle, avec les membranes d'autres produits au fruit.
Okay, I agree with you.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Ahmed, for your presentation, and thank you all for the discussion. Thank you. So now, it's my pleasure to introduce my colleague, Dr. Muhammad Nawal from Alexandria.